Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the last section in letter 8 in Jesus Christ, the Christ letters, the truth. I set this one aside specifically because Jesus is going to walk us through how to meditate to connect with the divine. And I wanted to just let this sit on its own in case you wanted to do this and didn't want the other information basically with it. So let's go ahead and get started. How to meditate. When you meditate, take up the position which is most comfortable for you. You do not have to go into physical contortions. Rest and relax. Tell yourself to relax and release all your limbs, including your head, neck, face, into a state of utter limpness. I must impress on you that meditation should be, eventually, as simple as slipping into slumber. The purpose of meditation is to enable your entire consciousness to move beyond the boundaries of intellect and reason. There are teachers who will tell you to imagine. Whatever you are told to imagine, you can rest assured you are not being assisted to go anywhere except into the new imaginative realms of your own thought processes. What this method of meditating will achieve for you will be relief from the thoughts and stress that your ego pressures are creating for you. In the world of imagination, the ego may or may not be dormant. Before commencing meditation, prepare by fully realizing you are about to make contact with divine consciousness, both within and transcendent to your consciousness. Therefore, it is also out there and around you. Visualize exactly what this means. Remember at all times that what you think about is what you are tuning into. Your thoughts are searchlights making contact with what you seek. Remember that every thought has its own frequency of vibrations in consciousness. Believe, know this, for this is true. The more spiritual the thought, the higher the frequencies of vibration. Consciousness forms embodied by words are not visible, but are specific entities of being. They have the life of consciousness within them. They are magnetized to like consciousness forms. Like is drawn to like. Think dog and visualize what you mean, and your thoughts are attuned to the dog species. Think universal consciousness or divine life with understanding of what you mean, and your thoughts will be directed into universal consciousness, divine life. If you have fully understood all that I'm trying to tell you, you will know that your meditation reaches its target. Know this, and you will find your faith strengthening. Your faith remains weak because you only hope or wish or magnetically want to tune into life consciousness. Because you hope you will derive some benefit from the exercise. Do you not see how earthy it is such an approach to that which gave you being? Is it reverent? Does it befit a person who is seeking a true contact and expects to do so? Whilst infinite universal consciousness is not the mythical God on high as depicted in the Old Testament, it is the infinitely powerful reality, everywhere present, manifesting its own designing, intelligent, evolutionary, loving caring for all that it has brought into being. This is what you must realize you will eventually approach whilst you are still on earth. When you reach the highest dimensions, after your magnetic emotions have been dissolved not only from your mind, but also your subconscious and solar plexus. First of all, you will be getting in touch with Father, Mother, Divine Life, which is ever active within your entire system and the universe. Remember, it is in equilibrium within the infinite universal dimension and active within the world. Father activity sets the goals. Mother love directs the way the plans will be developed to promote the highest good of that which is being adapted or healed or protected. Countless people will say that these statements above are all imagination. They can scoff as they will. Those who manage to make contact with Father Mother Life Consciousness, another name for Divine Life Consciousness, but denoting its double qualities, will verify that the foregoing is an accurate description of spiritual evolution which follows such contact. To return to your meditation, first of all, before attempting to enter your meditative state, memorize the following prayer so that the words become your own. When you have become perfectly relaxed, start your meditation with this prayer. Say it slowly and visualize the meaning of each word to enable you to enter into the consciousness of the word and enable the energy consciousness of the word to enter into your deepest self. As you say this prayer, your eyes should be closed and your gaze lifted towards your forehead, your third eye. And here is the prayer. Father, Mother Life, you are my life, my constant support, my health, my protection, my perfect fulfillment of every need, and my highest inspiration. I ask you to reveal the true reality of yourself to me. I know it is your will that I shall be fully illumined, that I may better receive awareness of your presence within and around me. I believe and know that this is possible. I believe that you protect and maintain me within perfect love. I know that my eventual purpose is to express you. As I speak to you, I know that you are perfectly receptive of me, for you are universal loving intelligence, which has so marvelously designed this world and brought it into visible form. I know that as I ask you to speak to me, I am sending out a consciousness searchlight into your divine consciousness. And as I listen, you will be penetrating my human consciousness and coming ever closer to my increasingly receptive mind and heart. I commit myself and my life into your care. Each time you say and visualize this prayer, you create a spiritual consciousness form which will become stronger and ever more elevated in frequencies of vibration as the true meaning of the prayer deepens in your mind and heart and your perceptions heighten. After the prayer, relax ever deeper and let your mind go as blank as you can. If thoughts intrude, gently recite Divine Life or Father Mother Life to yourself, and again, quieten your mind. After many months of sincere meditation, you may come to feel that your body is suddenly jerking, like a person entering a sleep and then suddenly waking up. If this happens, be thankful as your consciousness is penetrating the barriers of your previously created consciousness forces, encapsulating your soul. When you feel yourself entering a different deep state of consciousness, so deep you are barely breathing, know that you are beginning to attain your goal. At the end of your meditation, always give glad and grateful thanks. Remember that nothing you can think, say, or do can in any way reduce all that Father Mother Life Consciousness is. However, any disbelief will form a barrier between you and Father Mother Life. I want to warn you, when you are trying to still your mind and thoughts, you may feel ill at ease, physically uncomfortable, and even distressed. This is because initially you will come up against the black wall of your own consciousness, and this can be extremely disconcerting, even painful. Bless the experience and ask Father Life to penetrate your consciousness next time you listen. Then get up and put the experience behind you. When you find that you are at last entering into the silence, then rest equably, knowing that you have now entered what one might call the Holy of Holies, because at last you are achieving contact with Father Mother Life within you. It will take time for this highly spiritual experience of the silence to become a daily routine. Remember, you have a lifetime of ego baggage to discard and dissolve. No matter what you sense or are aware of during your meditation, when you come out of it, expect to sense a difference in your life. Remember that expectation is a consciousness form, and as you expect, you are opening the way for that which you expect to be magnetized into your experience, whatever it may be you are needing or dealing with. If you do not feel any new lightness of spirit despite your sincere expectations, do not deny changes or doubt the possibility of them. Remember, your consciousness is electromagnetic, of the same substance as your physical body, and it is the foundation of all experiences in your life. Continue to expect. As you do so, you are building up the power, the energy of your expectations, consciousness forms, which will draw to themselves the manifestation of all that you are expecting. Father, Mother, Life consciousness can only be magnetized into your individual consciousness by faith, sincere expectancy, and the willingness to open yourself to the cleansing of your magnetic emotional bonding-rejection impulses. How many of you presently go into meditation in this way and come out expecting changes? How many lose heart when they have felt some change and then nothing for a little while? Bear in mind that I told you that you are subject to rhythms of high and low. When you are in your lows, the flow of divine life in your system has dropped, and the frequencies of vibration of your consciousness also drop. Consequently, contact with Father, Mother, Life consciousness during these times at the beginning of your search is almost impossible. In the early days of your seeking truth during your meditation, you are very much in touch with your subconscious, and you will find that there is an irritating resurgence of all the old negative thoughts and memories you thought you had overcome. When you enter into your highs, you will find a resurgence of your spiritual self and will rejoice in this. Your meditations will be more positive and productive of contact with Father, Mother, Life consciousness. If you will have the courage to persist and exercise self-discipline during the low times as well as the good, you will find eventually that the lows will get less low and any former depression will be lifted. Remember that each time of prayerful consciousness brings you closer to your goal, although you may remain completely unaware of this. Nonetheless, things are happening for your ultimate good. Believe in them. When on earth I said, I have come to give you freedom. I have come to bring you life more abundant. The secret of your tiredness, exhaustion, inconsistency, instability, fear, despair, depression lies in your magnetic-emotional bonding-rejection responses to life and the subconscious patterns which sometimes take over and project you into situations you never intended to create. Because of these natural impulses of individuality, you are certainly not free. You are under the control of the magnetic emotional bondage, both in your conscious and unconscious mind. You live in the grip of the ego, which has given you individuality and bound you in fetters of emotional responses to life. However, the time comes for the sincere and ardent seeker, the person who gladly follows the path of Christ consciousness, the Christ way, when he meditates and penetrates the magnetic emotional areas of the brain to receive enlightenment, which is impressed within the very topmost areas of the brain under the skull, the crown. New cells are impressed with new knowledge. This is an ongoing process, and you will probably feel this opening taking place in your brain. You now begin to operate more and more within the superconscious mind, which is in even greater contact with Father, Mother, Life consciousness, until the time comes when you can no longer bear the ego thoughts and feelings dominating your normal everyday consciousness, and you die the death of total surrender. When this happens, Father, Mother, Life consciousness will fill your vision to the exclusions of all else. You will be entering the consciousness frequencies of what I termed on earth, kingdom of heaven. This phase will be characterized by a gradual withdrawal from the kind of life you enjoyed before. Your thought life will become ever more purified, and you will find yourself responding to situations, events, and people in a more dispassionate way. Whilst you may be less emotionally warm or cold than before, you will now be in the first wavelengths of what you term unconditional love, and will do everything from the point of view of promoting the highest good of everyone, which means for their growth, nutrition, healing, protection, fulfillment of their legitimate needs within a system of law and order. You will love more deeply than ever before, but there will be none of the human sentiment which can cause so many errors in communication and action. When you have gained true inner knowledge, you will be able to transcend the emotional baggage. You will be able to meditate and draw upon Father, Mother Life, and you will feel new energy entering your system, giving you new buoyancy. You will laugh, be more playful, find happiness in little things, love the world, feel brimming gratitude for every little blessing entering your life. You will find the blessings multiplying in your experience and showering your daily path. How does the person behave who has come through to the freedom from the ego? Eventually, such a person is totally free of fear. There will be absolute conviction that wherever he goes, he is protected. Although he may go through potentially dangerous experiences, he will emerge unscathed. He will know that he has no need of sword or gun to protect him. He is protected against every negative eventuality wherever he is. He will fear no sickness, since he will know that every built-in device in his system to keep him healthy is fully operative and working efficiently. He will know that he will never want for things needed to make his life happy and comfortable. Continually, he will praise and give thanks to Father, Mother Life for all things already received and will be received in the future. He knows he will be guided to be at the right place at the right time. He also knows that he can ask for whatever is needed and the response will come swiftly. But the asking will come from his spiritually enlightened center, and he will never seek for anything selfishly, but will always pray for things within the context of what will be good for his environment, community, family, friends. He will have an open mind, knowing that truth is infinite, and whilst he may know much, there is always a further dimension to explore. This is what makes life in any dimension, even the celestial kingdom of consciousness, so exhilarating and purposeful. In his daily life, the enlightened soul will wake up with the mind empty of all but praise and thanksgiving. Eventually, he will be aware of the chores awaiting him, and giving thanks for the energy and the willingness to perform these tasks, he will go away to do them without any inner resistance or reluctance to start. As a result of this attitude to daily routine, he does not waste energy on resistance in any shape or form. If there is a special reason to resist some suggestion or coercion, he will do so calmly and reasonably, without magnetic emotional feelings of annoyance or rejection. He becomes the dispassionate observer, doing the right thing at the right moment. He possesses his soul in patience, waiting for guidance, waiting for the right doors to open, waiting for confirmation that any plans are indeed divinely willed into being through his mind and heart and energy. He becomes a true man manifesting Father, Mother, Life consciousness. Excuse me. He also takes on the feminine characteristics of universal love and becomes the embodiment of intelligent love or loving intelligence. She takes on a more masculine characteristic of strength and strong sense of direction. If instruction is needed by a person, he or she will exhibit loving intelligence and the person will be uplifted by his or her words. If healing is needed, he or she will demonstrate intelligent love and the person will be healed. This is the goal to which I lovingly commend you. The path to Christ consciousness is outlined in these letters. When you achieve it, you will rejoice and say it was worth every moment of the rocky and bumpy times, which will now be behind you forever. You will be free to climb into higher dimensions, each one bringing you new experiences and joys. You will become founders of a new order on earth, which will form the spearhead of a new surge of spiritual evolution. When this spiritual evolution spreads to the general masses in many years to come, people will finally learn how to live in peace with one another. These things will surely come to pass, for the seeds of such a future have been sown within these letters. Whoever welcomes them into their consciousness and endures in faith will eventually find them blossoming in beauty, joy, and harmony, and bringing forth fruit in their daily lives. Believe, for I, the Christ, have spoken. I came and have come now to help you find life more abundant and infinite joy. So there we have your meditation, and then some information to follow it. I will try to do my best to timestamp where the actual meditation begins, but I would say listen to the first part before you start with your prayer, and I will timestamp where the prayer starts if you want to just go from there after you listen to the opening of the meditation section. I hope that made sense. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I love you all so much. Take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and I will see you again soon for the beginning of our last letter, which is letter 9. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.